Hi there, Misilla here. So just want to share with you guys this experiment that I've been doing with tomatoes that I started indoors over, gosh, I think they're almost 12 weeks old. I'm actually hardening them up right now and they'll be going outside in the garden soon. So I have been feeding them with worm tea and of course worm castings when they were babies. So the experiment went on for about, I think, 4.5, 5 weeks. And here is the progress each week. I took a short video and explained how I gave them worm casting tea that's diluted in water. So once a week I would water them with worm casting tea. And also when I transplanted them into their little cups, I actually added some worm castings in the soil. So that's all I fed them during this experiment. And you guys, the results are astonishing and I think you'll be impressed as well. I know I was, and it was just fun to see them grow so quickly. And I started out with the smaller plants that I gave worm casting tea to versus the bigger plants that I didn't. The smaller plants caught up so quick and now they are so healthy and lush. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoy this video and let me know if you have any questions or comments. Leave a comment down below, and if you're not using worm castings, check out the links below and you can use my code to save 10%. Learn to grow. Here are 4 sun gold tomato seedlings that were sown exactly 1 month ago. Today is March 14th, 2019. As you can see, the cups are all labeled with the dates they were sown. And onto the left here are my control group, so they won't be receiving any tea. And onto the right are the ones receiving worm casting tea once a week. So I'm going to be starting today and I'll be recording the progress for the next 4 weeks. And as you can see, I actually chose the bigger plants onto the left to see if the ones on the right will catch up, as I'll be watering them with worm casting tea. We are using Vermistera's worm casting tea, and I have a container that's about 1.5 quarts. So I put about 1.5 ounces of worm casting tea to about 2 ounces. The rest that I don't use, I use on the other plants. I water them thoroughly until a little bit drips out of the bottom. So not too much though, so just a little drop right there, so that's good enough. Stay tuned for week number 2. Week 2, today is March 23rd. So to the right are the ones receiving worm casting tea, and to the left are just receiving water. And as you can see the difference here, remember I chose the smaller plants to receive worm casting tea. And look how much they've grown compared to the 2 plants here on the left, which are not receiving worm casting tea. In fact, these 2 plants were bigger than these 2 initially. So you see the difference there? Week 3 update. Plants on the left are not receiving any weekly watering with worm tea. Plants to the right are the ones receiving worm tea once a week diluted in water. So as you can probably tell, they all look wilted, as well as the plants that are all receiving worm tea on the side. I've had a fungus gnat infestation, and so I'm letting the soil dry out so that way they can't breed on top of the soil. When the soil is moist, they prefer a moist environment and they lay their eggs and the larvae start eating the roots of the plant. So I let them dry out, the soil dry out, and I'm planning on just bottom watering it. So I just put water in the cups and the plants can absorb the water from the bottom through their roots. And look at all these fungus gnats on this sticky tape that I've got. So I actually have 3 more of these tapes in this little grow room, and they are full of fungus gnats. And I actually started using BT in the water last week, and the fungus gnats disappeared. Almost all of them. A lot of them got caught here, but there were still a lot, so finally got rid of them. Anyways, so as you can tell, remember I started out with the smaller plants that are receiving worm tea, and as you can see, they've caught up to the bigger plants. And in fact, it looks like these plants are going to be bigger. They look bigger already than the ones that are not receiving worm tea, and these plants were much smaller than these ones. So pretty neat experiment and results I'm getting here. This is my normal setup for all 4 plants. I have them all under the same full spectrum LED grow lights, very bright lights, so I have them about 18 inches away from the light. Week 4 update. This is so exciting. Look at the difference. So these are 2 of the 4 plants. And remember, I started out with smaller plants that were receiving worm tea to the right. pretty significant. So there you go, guys. Worm tea works. Let me show you the other two plants as well. Here are the other two plants. To the left is one that's not receiving worm tea, and as you can see, it is stressing out. It is starting to flower and reproduce. And to the right is the one receiving worm tea. So the differences are pretty significant. And again, I started out with smaller plants or seedlings that were receiving worm casting tea. So they surpassed the bigger seedlings. So the plants are completely acclimated outdoors now. So these four here are all in 1 gallon pots. Now the ones to the left were the ones initially not receiving any worm tea. The ones to the right were receiving worm tea. Look at the difference in growth, much taller, bushier. Also, I did pot them all up in the same potting mix, so they are all receiving the same nutrients now from about 2.5 weeks ago. Worm castings, organic compost. So these two have caught up and they are looking much healthier. Now the ones in the back are potted up in bigger containers, 3 to 5 gallon containers, so they are much bigger, of course. And check out this basil that I've been experimenting with worm casting tea as well. They are very healthy looking, lush and bushy because I have been actually pruning them back as well. Anyways, wonderful results, guys. And if you guys are not using worm castings or worm casting tea, I encourage you to do so. It's such a better way to feed our plants and the soil. Since it's a natural soil amendment, it is great for organic gardening. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again soon. Happy gardening!